All right, guys. Can you guys hear me you guys able to hear me or not? All right, cool. So, welcome to the first, class of West Notify. Thank you for everybody who joined West Notify, and you know, pretty much everybody here is trying to learn how to cook, so we'll get this thing done right away. So, the first bot I want to choose out is Dashe. It's a very simple bot. It's probably one of the cheapest bots on the market at the moment. Um, it works for Shopify and everything. Besides that, um, I will go into depth about it. So Shopify, this Dashe bot, it's been out for a while. This is 3.0 version. The previous version 2.0 and 1.0 was pretty very basic. Main thing they changed was the UI and pretty much the back end of the bot. Um, so so pretty much everybody who bought Dashe before 3.0 came out had lifetime. Everything else after 3.0 was a became a renewal. So if you're lucky enough to get lifetime, you should keep it. Besides that, let me go ahead and walk through the bot. This is a dashboard. This isn't my version. I'm running this version for somebody else. But normally your analytics will show you like what you have copped. If you normally click something up here, these numbers, those are the order numbers it'll pop up your order from your previous order that if you got from Shopify. This is just a task manager. This is where all your tasks are. Task creates where you're going to create your task based on stores, monitor inputs, and task specifics. Quick task is you know, you put in a quick link or something, it'll show up. Normally, for the quick task, you have to set up something else under settings. Profiles, profiles is your billing information and your shipping information. I'll go through that too. Settings is the main thing you have to look at. Delays, webhook, quick tasks. I always have an enabled console, so I always know what's happening on each of the tasks. Proxies are proxies. So let's go ahead and the capture harvest. So I'm gonna go through everything step by step how I would set up a bot. So profiles, I have a test profile that I'm gonna use. So just an example, my name is Justin. This is my last name. You guys can know by now. But address, so I'm gonna just put a random address. So if you guys didn't understand, for if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. But a lot of people are asking like, do you need your shipping and billing address the same? Depends on certain web pages. Like if you run a bot on Undefeated, the majority of the chance of you getting canceled are very high because you will need proxies from Oregon or whatever state you're from. So normally people get like proxies from Chicago and like Virginia. This reason why your order is canceled because you're ordering from Virginia but you live in California. So that's why it cancels. So normally if you run Dashe, you would run local hosts. Everybody asks me, do I always need apartment number? Yes, you would need apartment number if you live in a house. So if I go ahead and just put apartment, J101, your house is an apartment, so that's considered as another address. If I change that to 2, is another address. 3, it's another address. Um, just to say this street's name Justin, I can just change this to street ST and dot. That's another address. So there we go. Um, Profile name, I'll just put this as Justin Test. Email, a lot of people are questioning. There's in the Faxon tutorial guide, there's a how to create a catch-all. Catch-all helps a lot on a lot of web pages. I noticed for me, catch-all doesn't work for foot sites. So foot sites doesn't work for me, but catch-all works for Shopify. But I never use catch-all. I always use the Google trick. So my Google email is cookingpdxclub@gmail.com. So if I put a dot here, it'll go ahead and be another email address. I'll put a dot here and that's another email address. But if I go ahead and also put a plus and numbers, that's another email address. So you can trick Google out pretty well. Sorry, someone sent me a message. Besides that, the card holder, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my name. I guess you guys can go ahead. This is a test card, so it's just you guys won't be able to do anything with it anyways. So I'll go ahead and save this profile. So under my profile, there's a test Justin. That's who I get in the profile. So I need proxies. So the main majority of things is all you guys are asking about. Hey, what kind of proxies do you need? So majority web pages before the whole anti-bot, you do require like the fastest proxy. So the issue with the fastest proxy now is with the anti-bot is more persistence. So based on your proxy provider or anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and use PulseGen. This is not my copy, but later down the road, I will be giving out a copy of PostGen. Oh shit, he doesn't even have his key put in. Uh, I guess go ahead and pull from my old proxies then. So the proxies I have are IP authenticated. So this is what they look like if they're IP authenticated. If they're not IP authenticated, they would have like a password like this. That would be a user pass. But mine are IP authenticated. I would just go ahead and use the Shopify proxy tester. So I'll go ahead and save this and test it. It's pretty slow, but you know, the speeds varies. So the other thing is what kind of delay you want, the monitor delay. For me, anything above right now 1500 delay is like the best. But you can also use the Shopify delay calculator that's in the facts and tutorials. But for this one, I might go ahead and set the delay to 5,000 milliseconds. So 5,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So now you're gonna figure out how to create, a webhook. A lot of people don't understand how to do that. So I'm gonna create a test webhook from the West Discord real quick. 1 second. I gotta find. So I'll go ahead and put my Discord over here. I'll go ahead and edit this channel. Go webhooks. I want to disable streamer mode real quick. I want to create a webhook. This is a test webhook. Go ahead and copy this webhook. Click save. Exit out of it. Paste the webhook in here. Save it. And I will run a test. In the Discord, as you can see, there's a test uh, um, Discord webhook. So you can either use a webhook if you like to just say you run your bot via if you run your bot, then you have to go to school or something, or you're out doing something and you want to get webhooks. That's the best way to do that. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Quick tasks. This is where you would set what size you want and what tasks. So the quick tasks for right here is like how many quantity of tasks you want. I never used a quick task before, but I always set it prior before release. So we're gonna learn how to create a task now. So what is the delay for 1 minute and 30 seconds before a drop? So it depends on how many bots, so how many proxies you have. So I normally tell people use 2 proxies to 1 task, but it all depends. Delay that I notice works the best. If you do like a 1-1, it's a 1-1 is probably best to do if your proxy doesn't ban 5,000, so 5 seconds. But it all varies per web pages. So like if you run 50, like 100 proxies, yeah, and 50 tasks, correct. So we're gonna go ahead and create a task. So for first task I'm gonna create, I want to create something from Kith. So a lot of people are always wondering, how do I figure out keywords and everything on Dash? The best way to figure out keywords are you actually go to the actual web page and use the search. So example, you're trying to look for shoes, like example Jordan. You look for a Jordan 1. Whatever you put in here, it's gonna go through the search engine and find Jordan 1. So example, we want, sale, or I'll give a, let me see. So notice how these two are sales. So we're gonna go ahead and do a plus Jordan plus 1 plus sale. Then just say we're looking for the hyper roll. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the hyper roll and notice how this one has the same sale. So I'm gonna remove black. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Kith in here. What server I'm using? I'm using AWS. Uh, I'm using AWS because this is my buddy's version of Updash, so my version's running already at the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead task random. I want to use my test profile. So they have a new human mode. I haven't tested that out, but I'll probably test it out now. Accounts to log in. So you only need accounts for websites like Concept, Undefeated. Um, I think there's a couple more that you have, but I will have a guide up later to telling you what web pages you need. Password page. I haven't ran into any websites that needs required password page with the password. I think normally a lot of before the Funkos were requiring password. I always do least expensive for shipping. And somewhere I was asking about capture priority. My instance is right here, T2 medium. Um, the capture priority is whatever priority you want the captures on. So like this task, if I put it as 1, this task is going to be the first one to get the captcha. I think I never use it. I always leave it at 0. So it's all. So just example, if you say a lot of people that run carts, and if you want all your tasks to get the captchas first, you go ahead and put that as 0 and put theirs as 2. So all your tasks gets done first, then the captchas go to the carts that you are providing, or slots that you're providing to other people. Yeah, we'll get that done later. I'll help you with that the Google server issue. Scheduling task. Um, you can change what time you want to schedule the task, the time here, and everything. That's for task scheduling. I rarely do that, so it doesn't matter. So I want to go ahead and add this task. So the task will pop right here. So it's gonna look for the keyword Jordan, keyword 1, sale, and it's gonna take out the keyword black. So if I did this correctly, it should pull up this GS pair of Jordan 1, but maybe I have done it wrong, so who knows. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this task. Oh, that's not good. Because I know Kits has been, I don't even know if the Shopify works on Dash. I haven't tested out. This is first hand test. I'm pretty sure it's not my proxies. Let me go ahead and try a different web page. I just use Kit because Kit is a standard web page people are using. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this Jordan 1 right here. Change this to black. Yeah, they were having issues earlier today, so I don't know if it's could be my fault or the bot's fault. So yeah, I'm getting a bad shipping response. So I don't know if it's the Shopify or it's just the bots in general. But yeah, give me a second. Yeah, there is an issue, no shipping available, but I don't know what's the bad response. I'm just gonna test it on my version, my buddy's version of TKS. It's just to make sure it's not. Oh, it only picks up, it doesn't pick up all items, only the latest 25, so I gotta change that then. Thank you, Nas, for that. I wasn't reading chat. My bad, guys. So I'll go ahead and change it to a new item, I guess. Uh, I'm gonna change this to latest release. Men's. I assume these are the latest, so I guess I'll go ahead and do this Adidas then. So if I go ahead and use the keyword lexicon OG, it should pull up. If yeah, I'm still getting the same issue. But then again, on the Dash, they said there's a shipping issue too, so I don't know. Hmm. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and just do the, let's see if the link works. I guess there we go. So from what Nas told me, for me to do the keyword it only works on the latest 50 or 25, and I don't know how to tell which one's the latest 50 or 25 item that's been added on Kith. So that's my fault for you guys. But it should run. So as you know, error 200 is like a common error for bad response for shipping. So I guess if you get error 200, it's it's your keywords wrong. So example, if you run through Kith or something and you get error 200 on a Kith release, is your keyword's wrong. But then again, I want to let you guys know from now on we'll have early links for Kith if you guys need them. We can provide those too. But as you can see, oh, check out even with the product, but I still get that 200 shipping response. But that's the basic of Dash. I like Dash because I cooked over 100 pairs of Yeezys with it already. I haven't failed with Dash. This is my go-to bot. Mm, Besides that, nothing else. You guys have any questions? Yeah, I'll go ahead and explain human mode. So I'll go ahead and run through human mode real quick. How's PD compared to Dashe? I like the UI interface of PD is pretty nice. The issue with PD is I haven't really got like PD's a big hit or miss for me. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Uh, let's go ahead and do human mode real quick. So this is a human mode. Okay, zip code's incorrect, so I need a real zip code. Let me go ahead and change the zip code. So you can tell this is why I have the console open so I can see what's happening. So it's pretending it's going through human task, and it says payment declined. So as you can see, human task actually goes through the whole payment compared to the human mode is like you actually going through Shopify one by one by one. As a bot, it uses like the API backend, so it just goes through it really quick. If you notice, it's creating human tasks. It's going for product, create checkout product, finds a product, um, and you get an authentic key from Shopify, submits the payment information, and you know how certain bots have the shipping information where you apply into the bot, like TKS and PD has it. Um, then it'll go calculate tasks and payments, and you get the payment decline for the human task. If I go ahead and change this back to human mode, I don't think that'll be the same issue. I gotta probably delete this and create a new one. Yeah, as you notice, it doesn't go through human mode. It goes to a different, goes to a backend mode. If you notice, it's way faster. Yeah, my bad, man. But as you can tell, it goes to a backend mode, so it skips the payment method, gets a key, then just hits the payment right away. So the difference between human mode, it makes it look like it's more human. So if you notice, uh, the picture that Nas posted a while ago. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. How would you find keywords for Monday program? Keywords for Monday program. Um, oops. If you so the best way to find keywords, I can get out early links for Monday program, but all the keywords for the Monday programs are on the Monday program. For example, these are the keywords. So like when you figure out your so just say example. Um, so it's just example like you're trying to figure out like these. Just say these haven't released yet, and you're trying to figure out the keywords for them. The keywords actually, if I go, can I view the lookbook? Yeah. I don't actually do anything through Kids, so if you go through the lookbook, it should tell you the keywords. Like it literally, the product name is the keyword. If that makes sense. I'll give you the early links for the keywords for early links for Monday program tomorrow if you really need it. Is there any other question you guys wondering? Is Eve similar? No, Eve is. Eve is a really complicated bot. I can do an Eve tutorial sometime next week, but I never liked Eve. It's just it's really complicated for it's way more complicated than something like this. Uh, there's I feel like Eve could have simplified it, but they couldn't. That's a dumb question. Don't even ask that. How much is Dash? Do I use PulseGen for my proxies? I have a couple of copies of PulseGen. I like them. I have no issues with them. I'll be giving away a copy of PulseGen for retail, lifetime version sometime soon, later this month or next month. Um, but I like it. What else? How much is Dashi? You can check Botmart or that one new page that Nas been linking. You can verify prices. If you can get a lifetime copy for like 400, that would be a good deal. Um, I don't know what the price is Dashi at the moment. I rarely spend resell on my bots. I always try to get everything for oh yeah, let me go ahead to the captures. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey, why am I not getting one clicks on my captures? Why am I not getting one clicks on this? Why am I not doing one clicks on that? So I'm gonna give you a perfect example of why you're not getting one click. One, you always have to use when you harvest captures, you always have to use the exact same IP address for the harvester you're using. So example, if you're using email, email one, you always have to have the same IP as email one. If you switch out the IP addresses, the Google is gonna notice that he's gonna my bad. So if you don't keep the IP address linked to that Gmail and then you change the IP address, Google is gonna assume that there's a discrepancy with it. So it's gonna assume like why are you logging into multiple different IP addresses? Why are you jumping from this location to this location to this location? And there's a chance that you'll be flagged that even though you still have like a 9 score that you won't get any one clicks. So I want to go ahead and show you one of my oh no, I should go ahead and show you one of my one clicks real quick. Let me pull up my other server so I can get the email addresses. Oh, the other thing I would recommend you guys too is always clear your CAPTCHA instance. No matter what instance it is, like you should always clear it so it's to make sure everything's good to like it's cleared so you don't run into any issues. Uh, what do you say change IP address? So just example, see this IP address that I have? It's always on the same harvester that I have for my email. So if you're using a harvester like some one-click program like AYDC or whatever's out there, you should always make sure whatever IP address that you use for this harvester is the same IP address you use for the harvester for that email. Because if you use a different IP address or you keep alternating IP address weekly, um, it's Google's gonna flag your account. So I'll give you a quick example why it says it's flagged. So this is one of my emails that I use for my one clicks. So a lot of you guys wondering like, hey, why can't I get one clicks? I want to go ahead and test capture tester. So you notice how I get this page, right? So this is why my one of my proxies flagged and it detects like I haven't used no traffic because I'm running a lot of captchas for it. Yeah, Eve's catch is kind of bad, but so I'll go through that a different day. But if I click this, 99% of the times I'll get a one click. Oh, just kidding. Let me use a different email address. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this. I'm gonna use one of them that I know that works. I didn't want to use this because I currently have some of my bots running. So there you go. I have a one click. I'm gonna go ahead and run a capture tester, and I have a one click. As you can tell, the other email I used didn't have a one click. Um, there's a couple reasons for that. It's I don't use that. I'm harvesting someone else's email address with that, and I'll go ahead and show you the capture score for this one. So you can see I have a 9 on this score. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this, and I'm gonna log back into the other account. I don't remember what it was. I don't even want. I think it was this email address. See, even though this capture score is still a 9, I still had to solve a captcha. So most of the time I'll do that, and majority of the time I'll have solved one captchas. Then besides that, if I go ahead and no, majority of the time if I run a test, I won't have a captcha. But as this one, as you can tell, it has a 9. The issue with this is because it's been logging to multiple IP addresses at once. So the person who gave me this email didn't harvest their email with this IP address. They harvest with a different one. Then every week they keep changing the IP address to a different IP address, so it gets flagged. So I was wondering why it's logging to different IPs at once. So that's the reason why I didn't get a one click on that. But for all my email addresses, I know I get one clicks. You guys have any other questions besides the one click instance? So someone just asked me, do I buy my emails or do I make them? I make all my own emails, so I don't buy any of my emails. Is it possible to really cook without getting one clicks? Yes. What year they are? A lot of my emails I made were like this year. But is it possible to get one clicks? Yeah, you can cook without one clicks so you can solve captchas fast enough. Quick tasks. So example, like someone just said they bought a an email from 2008. But so there's a way you can view your activity on your Gmail. Um, I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys that. Actually, I don't want to because it'll harness one of my email addresses. But you can actually view your activities that you do on Gmail if you look it up, how to view your activity. and it'll tell you what activities you've done. So it tells you you've been going through YouTube, searching something, or go through this website. If you bought an email back in 2008 and there's no activity going up from 2008 to the current time, Google is gonna sense like, hey, what's going on? You made an account in 2008, but you started using it now. Why all of a sudden you've been using it now? There you go. That person linked it. So that's why I keep my, one clicks always running. I run it once a week, so there's some kind of instance. Uh, quick task. What do you mean create? What do you mean create a quick test without logging in? I haven't used a quick task before, so I can't help you guys out with that. I never use quick tasks because I actually work at, a job. How come I'm on 2T medium? Because I run this for my friend, so he runs it all the time. I my personal my personal instance, I run everything on C4 4x large. So, but I'm running his on 2T medium because for him, because you know, just like a lot of you guys are young and you guys like, try to, scam your way out of like paying stuff. He's he got banned from AWS, so I run it for him. And yes, yes, correct. You can run it 24/7, then you can turn your instance up at like when it's the release time. Should I separate proxies to groups for each task? You can't do that for for Dashe, but you're just gonna end up using all your tasks. C4 2XL is good enough for anybody. You can run that to like 24/7. Like you can do what Hypesec does it. Um, for Dashe, you can't separate your proxies, but on a certain other bots, like example for TKS and stuff, you can separate your proxies on how you want which proxies to work. Yeah, I'll have this saved too, so if you want to rewatch it, I'll upload it into YouTube. Oh fuck, I forgot to hit record. I apologize, guys. I'll still answer questions. Um, I'm sure I can probably re-download this from. Yeah, I messed up. But yeah, I'll go through it again if someone needs me to. Any other questions you guys need to? I don't know if it auto records, but I'll figure it out. What do I do? Um, I do IT for the federal government, so I have a full-time job. So I do this stuff for fun. Any other questions? Oh, I forgot to record, like Twitch to record. Is your emails is your emails still have one click after Google update? What do you mean Google update? I don't understand what that means. Bro, can't me. My dash is expired and I can't renew it. I don't know anything about that. You have to talk to one of the admins in Dash for that. So I chose 9 Pacific Standard Time because that's what everybody wanted to do, but it's up to you. It's based on whoever wants to watch it. And yeah, it's convenient for me too because I'm from Oregon. If I do anything earlier, like a 9 Eastern Standard Time, it would be on a Friday. But because I don't work on Fridays and on the weekends, we'll figure that out. Yeah, you can run this. I'm pretty sure Dashe works on a Mac. It's fine. I run it on server because the big example, people are like, "Hey, why do you run on a server? Why do you run on a server?" I'm just gonna go ahead and run a speed test. Because now, since this is a lower tier server, I don't know what the speeds will be, but you would run it on a. Well, it's kind of laggy, but normally on my server I changed this to a C4. I will have like a 1 gig down and 1 gig up, so you'll know that's a lot faster than what you can get at home. So it's cheaper. So example, if you don't have good internet at home and or you don't pay for like internet, you can get a 1 gig and 1 gig down on any web page. Just example, even if I ping Kith, I don't know if it's gonna let me or not. See, I saw even with the server, I have a 1 millisecond, connection to Kith from here. Just from having the server, just from the speed of it. Like if you don't have a 1 millisecond connection to any, or you want to be the fastest to any web page, that's why I use a server. But just example for Yeezy release, you don't really technically need a server. You can just run it on your desktop if you don't have the funds for it. But yes, this bot will work fine on just a MacBook Pro, a 2017. My computer that I run on my computer, this computer is built in 2000 like 12. So, any other questions you guys need? Or I'll answer anything. It doesn't have to be bot related or anything. I'll give you guys another 20 minutes before I turn the stream off. Yeah, that's a dumbass question. It's just, I'm not gonna answer that one. Yeah, server is mandatory. Some people do it without, some people do. I'm not gonna create a video about servers because that shit's Google. You can find that shit on YouTube. Like there's so many people that created you know videos about servers on YouTube. So I'm not gonna go ahead and waste my time on that. I think you know I can if you need literally all you have to do is click Google and search on how to set up AWS. Are you allowed to answer things on the release on? So what do you want to know about the Adidas release a few nights ago? Yeah, there's a YouTube. If you go in background tutorials, what state is your AWS? So if you read the proxy guide, I know there's a lot of you guys don't like to read, but you always have to create your proxies, or you always have to create your servers wherever your proxies are. So if you get Chicago proxies, you want a Chicago server. So the perfect example is um, your computer. I want to let me see if I can pull up Paint to make this easy, like so I can display this. So I'm gonna use this circle. This is your home, okay, and this is Nike. From this distance to this distance to Nike, there's a delay. So example, if you guys play video games, you always want to play like you're always wondering why are you getting a delay? Why I have like for example, from this is your house, this is Nike. There's a 100 millisecond delay to here. 100 milliseconds is a pretty decent delay if you play video games, or 100 milliseconds to do anything. So if you get so I'm from Oregon and I get a Chicago proxy, and if I'm not using a server, so the way it works is on the bot, it'll go from to the Chicago proxy. Then from the Chicago proxy all the way to Nike. Just say a Nike's over here in like Florida. I don't know where Nike server is. So you're gonna have that delay. So the best way why people get servers at the same place of their proxies is, so if I have a server over here in Chicago and my proxy's in Chicago, the distance from Chicago and the proxy will be just this distance from here to here. So it'll be a lot faster. Then again, servers have a gig connection, which a lot of people can't afford a gig connection at home, which like just say Xfinity or CenturyLink or where you have is like pricey where you're at. But no matter what, closer to you to the server, it's always faster. So that's why if Nike's over here in example, I'll just say Florida. I would want to create, I would want to buy Virginia proxies and create a Virginia server, which the distance from the server and the website is very short compared to a server and website from the actual, Chicago. So this one example, if it was 1 milliseconds from your house from Oregon to Florida, this would be 100. Just example from here to here with a gig connection, just say you're 23. Even from a gig connection from, a server with proxies, you'll be at, 10, less than 10. And why do you need proxies? Uh, just say you don't use proxy on Shopify and I created 20 tasks. There's 20 of the same IP addresses going to one web page, and Kith or something is going to realize that and it's going to block you, like give you a temporary block. So that's why you need, more than 20 proxies so you can have individual IP addresses on each of those tasks to, go to the web page. Like, does that make sense? Of why I chose to stay on my AWS server? Because I have Virginia. So mine is I have East, which is Virginia, so I have Virginia proxies. That's the reason why I chose that server. If you have Chicago proxies, you would choose a Chicago server. Do you buy AWS credits? No, I do not buy AWS credits on eBay. I actually have a plug. If you guys want AWS credits, I can talk to my buddy about it. They're a lot cheaper than on eBay, but that'll come later down the road. Would you get canceled